Hey, welcome back to the JKMoto Entertainment channel. Welcome back once again. Tuesday will be our favorite place. Tonight we are going to talk about something that's like a little bit different. It's not a tech tip or trick or a bike review or a track review. Well, it's kind of like a track review. Speaking of track reviews, we have a lot of good track reviews. You should definitely go check those out. I'll link the playlist to those up here. I say a lot, it's not that many. How many tracks have I been to total? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. But it's probably more than any other YouTube channel because I haven't found a YouTube channel that does track reviews yet. So that is something that we keep here at home on the JKMoto Entertainment channel. Also, while you're checking out that playlist, check out the rest of the channel. Throw a subscribe on the channel, if you don't mind. And throw a like on this video. But tonight, we're going to talk about my top three favorite tracks in the US. I've been to a total of 14 of them, which is not a ton, but compared to, I'd say, your average track day rider, it's not a bad amount either. I've had a chance to ride on the West Coast up and down. I've had a chance to ride a little bit in the Midwest, 2 states specifically I'll put in there, and I've had a chance to ride over here in the Southeast where I'm at right now. Keep in mind, I've not ridden anywhere in the UP or Northeast region, so I'm missing a lot of good tracks up there, and I understand that. But it's also cold and rainy and snowy out there, and I don't know how much riding you guys even get. Let me know down in the comments. But anyway, that's what we're going to talk about tonight, is my top 3 favorite tracks. If you're in this area or if you're into traveling like I myself am, these are definitely 3 that I would say are worth checking out. So get in your car with your bike. Don't forget your bike key. Book a track day and go ride these 3 tracks. Let's get into it. So the first track on our list tonight of the 3 tracks, which is actually, I'm gonna let you know it's gonna turn into 4, and we're gonna start at the bottom of the list. So we're gonna start with my least favorite of my top 3 favorite tracks. And I say 4 because this track specifically, or this place on my list, held 2 tracks. I was thinking about it and I was like, man, I really wanna say Barber Motorsports Park. However, I have trouble saying Barber because I didn't really enjoy my track day there that much. That was a lot due to the rules of the org and the way that the day went. But I enjoyed Barber a lot. Barber was awesome. I went and watched Moto America there. The paddock was super great. There was power available if you wanted. The bathrooms were nice. It's got a lot of good stuff outside of the track that makes it like very nice. You can go to the museum, or your family can go to the museum while you're out riding. And then the ride itself was great. Like, the track was good. The surface was amazing, beautiful. It's a Moto America track. It hits all of these awesome aspects. The issue I have was that I was stuck down in C group, which there's nothing wrong with C group, but for the first like 3 or 4 sessions, we were required to do lead follow. And the lead follow that I was specifically doing was, I think the first session was like max of 40 miles an hour, which I didn't leave first gear on my bike. And I actually caught a little bit of crap about that when we got back, because we also had to do classroom sessions after every session to go over things with the instructors. And I was just kind of like bogged down and bummed out because I wasn't able to go out, learn the track, and then have fun with it. I had to spend the afternoon slowly getting up to pace, and then by the end of the day, I didn't really have a chance to have any fun with it. But yeah, I caught some flack because I stayed in first gear the whole time for the first 2 sessions because we never got over 60 miles an hour. And someone was asking what corner they should be in, or what gear they should be in for a certain corner. Asked about going all the way down to first gear. The instructor was like, what, first gear? You should never be in first gear. And I just kind of mumbled to myself. I was like, I never left first gear. The guy's like, who said that? What? I was like, yeah, I never left first gear. He's like, how'd you do that? I was like, what do you mean? Man, I never got over 9,000 RPM. I can do, I'm not trying to brag about the bike I was on, but I was on my RSV4. I think it does over 100 or just under 100 miles an hour in first gear. Like, what am I gonna do? I was getting bored, so I just hung out in first gear and I just let it rev up and down. But anyway, that's beyond the point. Barber, great track. I can't quite put it on my list because I didn't really get to spend enough time there and actually get to see what the track layout was like. And keep in mind, this video is going to talk about a little bit more than just track. Sometimes you have a really good layout, but the rest of the experience is absolutely terrible, and I can't let that be at the top of the list unless it is absolutely amazing. But so what we are going to talk about for number 3 is Atlanta Motorsports Park. And also keep in mind, this is a hugely opinion-based topic that we're talking about today and for the next couple weeks. So I don't want anyone sitting here thinking like, oh, he said this track is amazing, I'm gonna absolutely love it. I like a technical track. I like a track that makes you brake hard. I like a track that has you brake and then get on the gas and then brake and get on the gas. Has a lot of turns, tight turns, wide turns. I'm not a huge fan of high speed turns. So the tracks that I personally like tend to kind of work towards that. But Atlanta Motorsports Park definitely hit the list. I went there just kind of on happenstance, ended up finding it as a track day, went down to the track day there. The paddock was plenty nice. It's a private track from what I'm understanding, but they still allow you to do open track days, or not open, but track days with track day orgs. But the whole paddock's paved. I think I had to take a generator. I don't remember, like, no, yeah, they had power on the pits. They had a hot pit. You would go out to a hot pit and there was power on the back side of it. So they had power available. There were nice bathrooms. Like, all of that stuff was met. It wasn't like you just show up to a random field and there's a track there and good luck with whatever else you might need. And then the track itself was tons of fun. I went on my Gixxer for the most part, rode the RSV4, actually wrecked the RSV4 there. If you haven't seen that video, you should go check that out. I'll link it up above. I just enjoyed it a lot. It was super technical. There's some tough portions. There's a ton of elevation. The track surface was nice. Everyone there was super nice too. That helped out a lot. I think it was my first experience with Evolve GT, which is a great track day org. Also did a review on them. You should check out that video also. But the other thing about it is, like, for a track day, that track is awesome because, especially as a newbie, it's super fast to learn. And that's because the track sets you up for success, because they have signs everywhere that tell you where the apex is, they tell you where your brake marker is, they tell you where your get back on the gas point is. So even if you're not following those exactly with the tips that they give in there, what you can do is follow it for, like, just vision around the track. It is super easy to just constantly move to the next, like, poster or the next whatever they have placed, which made that track super easy to pick up on. You can pick up on it super fast. And then beyond that, like I said, the elevation, the technicality, everything about it, I just loved it. If you're down in that area, or if you have the chance to travel to the Southeast, it's a bit smaller, it's a bit out of the way. I don't mean that, I mean, like, a lot of people are gonna go for something like Road Atlanta, or they're gonna head to Roebling, or they're gonna head to these, like, kind of more known tracks. Not too many people that I've met know about Atlanta Motorsports Park. So it's kind of hidden in that way, but definitely worth checking out. So the next track that we are going to talk about, number 2 on the list out of the 3, is in the desert. It's nice and dry out there, but they do also have a winter, so definitely closed down for the winter months. And actually got some really good ratings back in the day. We're talking really good. Like, track of the world good. Not just, hey, this is the best track in this state, because it happens to be the only track in the state. The state that we're talking about is Utah, and the track that we're talking about is Utah Motorsports Campus, I think. Maybe Burt Brothers Motorsports Park. Maybe, oh man, now I'm gonna forget. There's a man that owned it. Miller Motorsports Park is what it was back in the day. I don't know anymore, but there's a track there. There's a whole facility there. It's been there for a long time. And it is nothing but awesome, in my opinion. And that's why it had to hit the list, and it had to come in second. There's only one place in the US that I like better, and we'll get into that next. But UMC is awesome for multiple reasons. We'll talk about non-track stuff first, and then we'll get into the track stuff. So UMC is freaking sweet. Miller Motorsports Park is kind of the back history on that, which there was a dude, last name Miller. He lived in Utah. He had a ton of money, and he loved Fords, Mustangs, Ford GTs. He loved cars. He was a big car guy. So part of that was that he always wanted a playground where he and his buddies could go drive all their fancy cars that they owned. So he built one, and he had a ton of money. So he built a sweet facility. It's got grandstands all the way around it. It's got some amazing classroom areas. It's got an awesome little clubhouse. And I say little, it's not very little. It's like you could have a millionaire party at this clubhouse. It's got this crazy museum in it that's got some original GT40s. In fact, I think one of the ones that ran back the first time they ran in Le Mans. GT40s, Mustangs. You can go do the Miller Motorsports driving experience, or you could back in the day. Like, this track has a ton of history there. So that's awesome, because this guy built this thing to be able to do everything. Beyond that, the entire paddock is 100% paved. There's garages up on the pits, and there's garages not on the pits back in the back. Some of those garages have been rented out to businesses, but a lot of them are still open for track day use. There's a whole go-kart track there that is fully operational. You can go rent go-karts. You can also use that for, I know, USBA, Utah Superbike Association. Anyway, USBA uses that for their supermoto racing. I've ridden the go-kart track. It's a ton of fun. Sorry, I didn't ride it. I drove the go-kart track on a go-kart. Ton of fun, not too expensive. You can do that. And then there's showers, there's bathrooms, and it's not just like one bathroom area. I'm telling you, this place is literally built so that it could be a world venue. Like MotoGP could come here, or Formula One, or whatever it might be, could go to UMC. It's got the grandstands for it. It's got the track for it. It's got the paddock for it. It's got the garages on the pits for it. It's got everything that you could need, minus maybe a big enough parking lot, but they've got fields across the street they could use. Like, it would work. It could be done. I don't know why they're not doing it. That's part of this video, but so like I said, you pull up, you can hook up your RV. There's RV plugins. I don't think there's a dump station. I talked about that. You should go check out the track review. Go ahead and check that out. I've got it linked up here, but everything else that you might need is there. And then finally, the reason that it really hit the list is because of the track. Now, the surface, you know, ain't the best, but it isn't bad either. It's well taken care of enough that you can ride it absolutely. Just don't go walk it or you'll be, there's some big cracks out there that you would not notice while you're riding that kind of make you think twice about running over them, but they're fine. But this track technically has 4 configurations. You've got the outer course, then you've got the full course, and then you've got east course and west course. So the outer course is what they call a perimeter. It's tons of fun. It's got a very European feel to it from what I've heard. I've never ridden in Europe, but I've been told it's very European. That's why a lot of people really like it. I really like it. There's a little bit of elevation, not a ton of it, but there's a decent amount. There's honestly like just the right amount of everything to include a massive straight. If you're doing the outer course, the perimeter, you can easily hit 180 miles an hour on that straight. Like, no matter what bike you're running, if you've got the guts for it, you can probably top it out. So perimeter is freaking awesome for that. Beyond that, you've got sharp turns, you've got high speed turns, you've got low speed turns, you've got a chicane area kind of, you know, a little S turn. It's got everything. It's freaking awesome. And you break that down, you can get another track out of it by doing the east course, which has half of the outer course and then half of the inside portion, which is for the east. And then the west is the same way, so there's another track where up to 3. And if you want to go absolutely crazy, still get this 180 miles straight, but get both of the inside portions of the east and west put together, you do the full course, which I think is like dang near 4 miles long, if not over. And I haven't ridden that one. I don't know anyone that has, because they don't do it very often, because I think it's just too big. It's like too much, but it would potentially get you absolutely everything. So UMC is absolutely near the top of my list. Tons of fun. If you're in the area, absolutely go. If you're not in the area, but you're anywhere, I'd say anywhere on the West Coast, and you haven't been to UMC, go to UMC. And USBA has reciprocity with just about any club out there, and they're super helpful, and they would love to let you, I'll let them just speak to whether or not they'd love to let you lose or win. But maybe you'll speak to it if you go show up at USBA at UMC and race motorcycles there. It's the final track on our list tonight. If you know anything about me, or you know me at all, or you've watched this channel a good bit, or if you've listened to the podcast, JKMoto Podcast, which if you haven't, I'll go ahead and link that playlist up here also, because it's a great podcast. Perfect to put on for your commute in the morning, or your commute out to your local track day. If it's, you know, more than an hour away, go ahead, throw on JKMoto Podcast. Great way to get yourself hyped up and ready to go do track days. But as I was getting to, if you know me, if you've listened to that, if you've been around the channel for a while, or if you've talked to me in person, whatever it might be, you will know exactly what track I'm about to bring up and why. You might not know why it's at the top of the list, which is why we're going to talk about it tonight. That track happens to live up in the Pacific Northwest. It is not Portland International Raceways. It is not Pacific Raceways. It is, in fact, the Ridge Motorsports Park. I think we can just end the video there. I don't even know what else to say. Like, anyone that's ridden there probably doesn't agree with me that it's the best in the US. And there are plenty of other great tracks in the US, so don't get me wrong, I understand that. But the Ridge, one, it holds a special place in my heart. This is where the opinionated portion is going to come in, because that was my first track that I went to. I've also spent a lot of time there. I think for the first 3 or 4 years, that's not quite right, but for the first 2 years or so of doing track days, I really only went to the Ridge. And when I started traveling to do track days in different parts of the country, I always ended a trip by like coming back to the Ridge unless it was wintertime and I couldn't. So it was just like this weird, it holds, you know, it holds a special place in the heart. It's a great track. It's so amazing. You should go, just go check it out. You'll find out why I like it. Beyond that, we'll talk about it. The paddock, it's paved now. It wasn't the first time I went. It was actually like a little portion of it was paved, and then there was like this tiny little bathroom area. It's actually grown a lot. The people that own it put a lot of money back into the track. When they make money, they just kind of keep putting it into the track. Part of that, which we'll get to in a little bit, is that they always get new pavement, and it's awesome. But there's grandstands all over the place now. Moto America started showing up. Moto America started showing up a few years ago. And so they had to put grandstands up. They put a catwalk up across the top. They added a chicane to it. They have the trail from the catwalk to the top of the hill is not just this dirt trail anymore. It's actually paved all the way up there, which is great, because when it was dirt, it was kind of a little sketchy to climb up there. And then the paddock's fine. It's nothing amazing, but it's good enough. There's some garages they are like on the pits, but they face the wrong way. It's kind of weird. I don't know why they did that, but I think it works best for what they're like currently set up to do, because they're never gonna, I don't want to say never, but they're not gonna see something more than Moto America here for a while, and Moto America doesn't care if you have like GP garages. So that's that. On to the track portion of the Ridge Motorsports Park. So, man, this is, yeah. New pavement. Did I mention that you had to climb up a hill earlier and that it was really hard to climb up until they paved it? Yeah, that's how the track is also. Tons of elevation, and it's not bad elevation either. I think one of the reasons that I like the Ridge so much is that it is challenging, but it's not so challenging that it's like annoying. It is the perfect amount of challenge, and when you start to flow on that track right, you feel like you're riding a roller coaster. And when I say you start to flow right, I don't mean you're running Jake Gagne speed. I don't mean that you're running, you know, Josh Herrin buck 34s with a chicane on there. I mean that as soon as you get within that like 210 to 150 mark, the track starts to flow. And even before then, it flows pretty well. And I think that's what's best about it, is that no matter what speed you're at on that track, you can have fun and you feel like, you know, you get a little bit of that pit in your stomach when you come over some of the hills, all the turns, you get to really move off the bike from side to side, flick the bike this way and that way. It's got a big old long carousel turn, turn 6, where you can absolutely get your knee down, double, maybe even triple apex it if you want to. Then you dive down a hill, then you come back up a hill later. Like, it's got a little bit of everything. It's got a mimic of the Laguna Seca corkscrew. The Ridge is just awesome. I got to get back there. It's been a long time since I've been there, and maybe I'll go back and be like, man, this place ain't that great. But I think it's awesome. I think it's super great. There are a decent amount of track day awards that go up there. You get track time, too fast. What's optimum performance? OPRT, I think, optimum performance racer track day, something or other. I don't remember, but yeah, OPRT. There might be another one. Vixen, Moto Vixens probably goes up there. There's several different track day awards. You can also race with WIMRA up there. Washington Motorcycle Road Racing Association is the race club up there, so you can go race with them on that track. But the Ridge is just, man, it's great. I don't have a whole lot else for it. Like I said, it's got ups, it's got downs, it's got hard rights, hard lefts, long rights, long lefts. It's got hard braking. When you're not running the chicane, the straight is super long and nice, and I actually prefer it without the chicane. I know most people like the chicane now, and most people are running the chicane because it's safer and everything else, but back in the day when you come down the straight and you go into turn 1, you could just shed so much speed just by going into turn 1, and then you dive up this hill, or I guess you don't dive up a hill, but you send it up a hill. And anyway, the Ridge is awesome. So those are my top 3 tracks. You got the Ridge, UMC, and then Atlanta Motorsports Park and or Barber. So if you're in the area of any of those, I think I kind of just drew a diagonal line down across the US. Go check them out. They're absolutely worth it. If you're not in the area, but you're into traveling and you have a track that you don't have a track on your list that you want to travel to yet, but you know you want to start getting into that. One, if you have any questions, please ask them down in the comments, and or hit me up on Instagram or Facebook at JKMoto Entertainment. I'll answer any and all questions there. But it is totally worth it to go hit any one of those up for a track day, to do some travel racing, whatever it might be. Go ride there. You'll enjoy it. I promise it. That's all we got today. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you in the next video.